Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Man, oh man. How we doing, guys? KLBELVIN tonight. I don't even scope that late at night, but you know what? I just got off the road from Delaware. Yes, that was Will Smith and his young son, Jaden Smith. And, you want something, go get it. Shout out to Regina, Poole, and Odis Belinger, who have been on burning up the scope airwaves. Hey, what's up? Hey, Shala. And I've been on the road traveling from Delaware. I've been in Delaware all weekend. It seems like I've been driving all night. And I honestly have to say that I feel better with my cross on. Hello. And I got on Regina's scope and she was, and you know what, there's nothing that I did not agree with, because men got to figure it out. Men need to understand. I would just want to come on, and one, because I told Regina I was going to come on, being reliable, which I agree, men have to be reliable. But also, I am so excited by June 4th, the Building Better Relationships Conference. Signed in with the church account. Would like you to add, so okay. And Detroit, June 4th is going to be fire. And Regina gave you a little sample tonight, letting the brothers know, putting the brothers on blast. And I'm with that. I'm going to do the best I can to smooth it over, because we got to fix this. And we got to get these relationships in order, because something's wrong. Something is missing. And the reason why I played that clip is because I hear a lot of people talk about relationships, but my real question is, if you want it, are you really going after it? Because to go after it, you got to understand, one, what it is that you want, and two, what is it that you're going to do to get it? I'm not going to knock women or men tonight, because we could spend hours on that. The real question is, do you understand yourself enough to sit across from somebody and to be able to have that conversation about what exactly that you want? Which means you got to be willing to explain what you can give and what you can do. Too often I hear people talk a lot about what they want. Sound good. Listen, it's part of being an adult. What you giving? What you doing? If you remember that clip at the beginning, his father says to the son, you're not going to be any good because I wasn't any good. The son automatically shuts down, puts the basketball in the bag, and then the father realized, I just squashed his dream for no reason. So many of us have allowed the previous woman, previous man, a bad situation to affect us in such a way that we don't even know what it is that we need to do. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, everybody's on tonight. Thank you for the hearts. Share this with somebody. Let's stop playing, because you know this is what we got to do on Periscope. Share this with people. Glad you're back, Cynthia, about to go relax. Hey, okay. All right. Appreciate it. Share this on Twitter. Share this with your followers, because you know what? In the end, anything that's going to help us recreate the strong foundation that we all admit that we know relationships need to have, they need to hear this. Because those that are in great relationships need to hear this, because they need to come on to confirm the things that Regina, Odis, and myself are saying. Now, back to the clip is, I've sat across women. I am happily married because I work at my marriage. I don't get up and go, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so lucky. No. I make sure I am none of those uns that Regina was talking about. And if you don't understand what those uns are, go back and watch her scope, because a man has to be an active participant in his relationship, but so does his woman. You also have to be mutual visionaries. Now, let me explain to you what I'm saying. You have to be mutual visionaries, We both have to look at the future and see how we can tackle this together. We both have to understand what is out there for us. Not her, not me, us. And then we got to come up with a battle plan that's going to protect, honor each other, while still allowing us to go after what it is that we want, as long as we are not disrespecting or hurting each other. Other thing is a spiritual foundation. Now, if you ain't religious, you ain't spiritual, you ain't whatever, you ain't going to like this part. You got to have an impartial referee. Someone that you can wrap yourselves around that's going to help guide both of you while keeping you together like this. Because when those rough days come, you have to have something greater than the two of you to hold on to, because your relationship is going to be tested, because that's what life is about. You will be tested by situation. You will be tested by your family. You will be tested by work. You will be tested by your children. You will be tested by everything that could possibly test you. But when you have a strong foundation in God, and I said God, I ain't say church. If you got a foundation in your church, fantastic. But if you don't, but still have it in God, you're still in a good place. Because you got to have something that grounds you. So when you're looking at it and going, I know the grass is green across the street. No, it ain't. Because that person, yes, I do follow Jesus. I am a strong believer in Jesus. And if you're not, no problem. I am. My wife is. And Jesus and the scriptures are our foundation. And that's what we do. And I don't try to get anybody to believe what we do. I'm just telling you what we do. Because we are in this together against the world. I'm trying. This is my ministry. Look, I'm a teacher of the fivefold ministries. I am a real teacher. I have been a 20-year educator with the Department of Education, and I teach wherever I'm at. I teach when I'm on my scopes. This is what I do. And let me just say this real quick. Let me back up. My name is KLBELVIN, guys. I am a poet. I am an author. I am a publisher. I am a mentor. I am a speaker. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a man of God. And all my hats are intertwined. All my hats are on display all the time. And the one thing that I do when I get there June 4th is I'm going to make sure somebody leaves that arena wanting to either repair their relationship, find a new relationship, or take a step back and look in the mirror and ask themselves what's missing with them. Because you cannot be in a relationship if you have deficiencies that you're not willing to work on yourself. You cannot ask a woman, you cannot ask a man to come in and fix you when they're still dealing with themselves. Because we always say no one is perfect. I can't hold you up from the beginning. I can hold you up once we're together. But if you come in limping, this race ain't for you. Go back, get healed up, come back. You ain't ready for this. You got to put on your big girl panties and your big man pants. You got to wear drawers for this. Tiny whiteys ain't making it in this race. And the reason being is we got to be shoulder to shoulder. That's why if you ever really listen, and again, I want to see this shared. Hold on a second. I ain't see nobody share this with their friends on Twitter. Let's go. I'm not saying another word till I see it. Okay. I was about to say, I'll listen. I'll straight pout. Just leave the scope. No, I mean, if you really listen, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm just messing with you. If you really listen to wedding vows, I always find it funny how if you really listen to your wedding vows, there it is. Let no man put under what God has put in place. The two of you are committing for the rest of your lives. God has placed you together so no man can mess this up. Why do you lose that? Why do you forget that? Understand that if the two of you come together, and as I said, if you are mutual visionaries, if you can say, this is what you want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what we can do together. And we can get both of that. We can get more than that. The world has to give in to you. Because there's no more powerful force than a loving married couple. This is why people love the president and his wife. This is why the people love Will and Jada. Could care less about all the others. They just love seeing them together. This is why people love to see people in love. They see my wife and I giggling and playing. They want to come over and go, how long have you been married? 07, but we've been together since 2000. Because love emits, let me just say this again, love emits an energy that causes people to react. So you have to find a way to work that from the door. And if you're not ready, stop searching. Stop. Just like Will Smith said, if you're not ready to go get it, which really what he's saying, if you're not ready to be it, leave it alone. Don't go out and ask for something. Don't go out and ask God for something that you're not ready to handle. Stop it. Because what you'll be doing is setting yourself up for destruction. And then when the relationship blows itself up, and I'm going to tell you now, I screwed up a marriage because I didn't understand what being a husband really meant. I destroyed it. I wrote it in my book, From Gigolo to Jesus. Yes, title of my book is From Gigolo to Jesus. I went from a misogynistic whore to a man of God. But that transformation came with bodies. It came with devastation. Devastation that I can't go back and fix. That all I can do is apologize and pray to all those that I messed over and pray that the damage wasn't so bad that they couldn't find somebody else. And just because I'm happy now doesn't mean that I don't go back and pray for those that I messed over. And my thing is, what I'm bringing to the table anywhere that I'm at is it's not just what I say. It's what I do. It's how I act. I want people to see my wife on a pedestal. Why? Because I placed it there. Gigolo with a G. Because they'll start looking for that, and I don't know what book might come up. No, Gigolo with a G. I make sure folks see that my wife is on a pedestal. I put her there because I protect her when she's there. I make sure other men see that, so if they even think about hollering at her when I'm not around, you got to climb up that pedestal first. And she just ain't going to let you climb up there. Also, other women can say, see, that's how you're supposed to treat me. Yes. Yes, that's another reason why she's on that pedestal. Because if I can live by example, then I can have some woman elbow her man. I can have some man going, how come you don't treat me like the way his wife treat him? Well, I ain't her. Exactly. I might leave you. Because listen, as I was talking to Brother Odis earlier, people cheat for various reasons, but it's mostly because of a deficiency somewhere. When something's missing, spiritually missing, physically missing, financially missing, sexually missing, they'll start to look for other places. Now, I use the pursuit of happiness because I really enjoy the movie because there's a lot of nuances that a lot of people miss. The scene when the wife is leaving him. I want you to replay this, and if you know the movie like I do, I'm a movie junkie, so I'll always make movie references, but run with me with this. She says to him, I'm not happy, Chris. And he goes, you want happy? Go get happy. And she walks away yelling, and he walks away yelling, and he's yelling, the boy stays with me, and Okay, here's what I saw. This is what I saw. She was being honest. I'm not happy. He was being honest that he wasn't happy because he was like, go get it, because obviously I'm not making you happy. Neither one of them pumped their brakes. Because if they had, this is what they could have done. If they had pumped their brakes, the two of them could have said, why are we unhappy? And here's the mutual visionary part that I'm talking about. If the two of them had pumped their brakes and said, why are we so unhappy? We have a child. We've been blessed. And God knows there's so many people out there that would kill to be in a position of having a child. And if they decided to take whatever the pain was and make that their focus and say, okay, how do we make this work to get the happiness? Because the movie's pursuit of happiness. Well, we already know from the movie that once locked in, this dude was on point. So now if he brings his woman into the fold, if he connects his woman to that drive that made him be able to become a millionaire, trust me, read the story. With his woman in fold, he not only becomes that same millionaire, he reaches levels that he didn't even think was possible. Because when you have your significant other and y'all two are locked in together and your focus is tight, there's not a stronger force on this planet. So even though he did well and eventually got with somebody else, let me tell you something. If you fix that, so in that scene, that's a lot of folks right there. They're ready to walk away, and then the men will go away and vice versa. Some women will say, get out, and the men will say, okay, I'm leaving. Because flight of the fight or flight response is always, let me move away from the stressor. Whereas we also have the other side of the coin, is to stay and fight. But that's the hard part. It's hard to stay there after somebody cheated on you. It's hard to deal with somebody who hurt you. It's hard to stay with somebody who's as broke as your ass is. It's hard to go through the negativity when you're kind of looking at the woman across the street going, ooh, her booty's so much bigger than my wife's. Yeah, okay. But if you work with your wife, you work with your husband, if you work on what's missing, you do some squats with her, do some whatever with her, that booty get a little bigger. You talk about the things that you're lacking. You talk about the things that you want. You talk about the things that you can go and have. And as you start to approach them, as you start to get to them, let me tell you something. You start working on mutual visions. As you start to climb up that ladder, the loving gets better. When you two are working on something and it starts to lay down flat and you start to see the world start to shift around what you two are after, let me tell you something. When you get home, let me tell you something. Ain't no greater force on the planet than a happy woman and a happy husband, and a happy wife and a happy husband. Let me tell you something. Nothing like it. You can't wait to get home to celebrate what you two have done together. And those moments ground you in such a way that when the negativity comes, you fight that much harder not to lose what you just had. The next morning, after a session like that, you're not even trying to lose that man. You're not trying to lose that woman. Something inside you will click. I can't live without her. So cheating? I'm going to give all this up for sex? For the unknown? And that's the other Sister Regina, the unknown. If a man doesn't know, leave him alone. So ladies, when you go back to check out Sister Poole's scope, add unknown to it. If a man, it just doesn't make sense, walk away. Because if a man can't sit across from you and his plan be so strong that a part of you goes, damn, I might change my plan. Okay. And men, the same thing. If she sits across and her plan is devastating, and you thinking, I didn't even know that was possible, jump on board. Don't wait. If you know her plan is so on point that it dwarfs yours, don't fight for yours. Man, change it. Because she's showing you her value right there. He's showing you his value right there. When he can sit down and say, I see what you're trying to do, but did you think about doing it like this? Oh my God. You know what? Let's go. Somebody has to take the lead. And it doesn't always have to be the man. Now, we have to protect you. Yes. We have to provide for you. Yes. But I always find women and men get that twisted. I have to provide. But if I provide you comfort, and if I provide you protection, so what, you make more money than me? I'll be standing right outside your job to get that check to wherever you need it to go. I got you. Not worried about it because it's us anyway. I'm telling you right now. I find it so disheartening when I hear the things that people argue over that tear them apart. I don't get that part. That's what goes back to the foundation for me and my wife, is that if we have a spiritual foundation, we're just not going to let weak things tear us apart. And when the major things happen, you'll fight through. You have to want to fight through. And there's going to be doubt. And let me tell you something. Anybody that tells you they didn't have doubts, walk away. They're lying to you. Just walk away. It's like, you know what? I ain't got time. You wasting my time. You lying. Doubt is what triggers strong vision. Oh my God, how am I going to do this? Now your brain kicks in. Your chest opens up. Or if you're sitting there with your woman and you go, baby, how am I going to do this? A real woman going to say, the way you do everything else, you're going to get it done. And all of a sudden your brain kick on and your chest starts to pump a little harder. You know what? You're right. Because you know, if as long as I got her in my corner, I'm good. And vice versa. When she comes in and she says, I don't know what I should do. And you put your foot down and say, whatever you want to do it. I got you. She tear out the house, care less. got you. My man got me. Whatever, let's go. June 4th, y'all. June 4th. Actually, I got my notes right here. I'm not even going to tell you. That was actually one of the things I'm going to talk about, mutual visionary. So you got one. But I got 4 other things I'm going to be talking about in Detroit, June 4th, because I'm serious about seeing relationships restored. I'm even studying for my 2nd master's degree, taking on that extra debt, simply because I want to build me. I'm taking on a degree in human services with a specialization in counseling and ministry, because I don't just want to teach, I want to heal. And I want to combine the two, and I want to combine it all with my faith to be that light, to be that example. Now, anybody that's been watching who may not know who I am KLBELVIN. And why is that important to you? I'm going to tell you. Because I used to be the worst type of man that roamed this planet. I lived and breathed and emitted energy that was connected to sex. Some say I was an addict. Some say I was whatever. Doesn't matter. I left a lot of destruction in my wake. Now that I'm older, now that I'm saved, now that I understand what the power of a strong wife and a strong faith system in Jesus and God can do for a man, I wish I could go back. But the reason why I cannot, because then it would change who I am now. But what I do is I attempt to try to help women, defend them, protect them, to help them against men like I was. So yes, I rip away the foolishness when I'm talking to women at work or I'm talking to women in the street. And I rip away a lot of foolishness that men try to offer me. And thank you for the hearts in the comments. I'll go back and check all the comments later on. I'll hit everybody up, I promise. Because my job now, because I believe I owe. I believe I owe God. I believe I owe every woman on this planet for the way that I used to live my life. And any man that I see living like that, I'll step up and say nothing whether I'm connected to you or not, simply because you got to know somebody out here has your back. But I can't do that if you don't step up first. And this is why the books that I write, the conversations that I have, when I go and speak, when I go speak at churches, I don't pull punches. We are physical creatures, but we cannot be driven by the physical, because the damage sometimes is unrepairable. But I don't believe something can stay damaged. I believe because of the God I pray to, that damage can be healed. But the one thing I have learned is that damage cannot be healed if the person who is damaged does not allow the healing to happen. It's like going to a hospital. The doctor can put the cast on, but if you take it off, or the doctor can give you the medicine, and if you refuse to take it, there's nothing else that doctor can do. God will send you the healing. The question is if you'll allow him to heal you. Yes, allow him to heal you. See, God will send all that you need. The question becomes, will you accept what he offers? Because he's not going to send what you like. You might get lucky in what he sends you like. But how many people like medicine? How many people go through a painless healing? Sometimes to heal the most hardest damage, it's painful. And there's a painful recuperation period. There's a painful restoration period. But my God, when you get to where you need to be, and you can look back and say what I used to be, man, listen, that's what I do. This is what I am bringing to the table June 4th in Detroit. I'm not traveling all the way from Brooklyn, New York, to Detroit, a city I've never been to just sit down and tell you that it's going to be okay. Nah. I'm going to try to offer something that's going to allow you to walk away and say, I need to go home and have a conversation with my husband. I need to have a conversation with my wife. I need to have a conversation with my boyfriend. I need to sit down and talk to my girlfriend. We got some things to talk about. Because I can only offer, I talk about this all the time in my classroom and wherever I'm at. True learning is a gesture. Now I'm explaining to you what I mean by that. I can only offer you the information, the knowledge, whatever you want to call it. It does not mean a thing until you allow it to come into you. So you accept it. Till you sit down and go, that's interesting. Give me more. Doesn't work. Because once you accept it, now I'm educating you. Now I'm the educator I'm supposed to be. But if you tune it out and you don't accept it in, I can't help you. But it doesn't stop me from offering. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. It doesn't stop me from offering, though. I'm going to offer. But here's I'm going to give you my own personal platform. I will throw the life preserver out to you when you're drowning. If you throw it back into the boat, I'm going on and help somebody else. If you drown, you drown. And I'm not going to lose sleep about you drowning if I know I attempted to help you before you drowned because you chose suicide. I'm being very real right now. If I attempt to help you and you say, man, go ahead with that. Okay, do you. And I'm not going to lose any sleep. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to lose any sleep. My heart is cool with that. Because I offered. Too many people out here struggling for me to sit here and try to get you to understand this medicine is going to help you. This is why I do not attempt to indoctrinate anybody to my faith. Why should I? Spiritual suicide. Thank you. I was getting to that. I'm glad somebody's on point. Because I don't have to. Because if a hard head make a soft ass, pardon my language, then it is what it is. Because there's too many people in this world who's waiting on somebody to come and hold their hand out and say, I got you. And I'm looking for them. That's the reason why you don't find me in church all the time. I'm out in the street. I'm here on scopes. I'm doing whatever. Because the people who need help are not going to walk right up to you and say, can you help me? Until they know you are somebody who can help. So if I don't tell you, you don't know. If I don't show you, you don't know. So I'm going to be there to say, you need some help? If you slap my hand away, okay. Go on, face that Titanic. Hold on to that rail like the movie and see if you get away with something. I'm going to go help somebody else who wants to get in this lifeboat. It is what it is. And so when you got powerful speakers like Odis Belinger, Regina Poole, why do men stay when they say they don't want the marriage? They're weak. I'm going to keep it real. They'll claim finances. They'll claim their children. They'll claim it's cheaper to keep her and all this other foolishness. If you ain't happy and she's not happy, end it and just be good parents. Hardest thing in the world for me when I left my ex-wife, I'll tell you why. I'm glad you brought it up, and I'll answer any questions in a minute. Back in 2000, late 1999, 2000, I was in a marriage. I talk about it all the time. I wasn't married. I was in a marriage. You have to be committed from your heart to be really married. I was in a marriage. I was spending all my time in the living room. She was spending all the time in the bedroom. We crossed each other just because we lived in the same apartment. And I kept saying to myself, why don't I leave? Why the hell am I with this woman? She ain't happy. I ain't happy. God knows I don't want to be here. But we got 2 sons. What am I going to do? And I can't leave my boys and all this other foolishness. I already had a daughter somewhere else I was taking care of. So I'm sitting there. My 4-year-old walked in and he said, Daddy, can I say something to you? I said, sure. What's up, little man? He said, how come you and Mommy don't hug and kiss like Uncle Gene and Aunt Lisa? What? How come you and Mommy don't hug and kiss like Uncle Gene and Aunt Lisa? You and Mommy don't kiss and hug. Y'all don't talk. 4 years old. I said, you're right. And I gave him a kiss and he went on into the bedroom. And what I realized that night is that I was raising a 4-year-old young boy. And his 8-year-old brother was in the room, so I know he's feeling the same way. I was raising 2 young men to think that Daddy's in the living room and Mom is in the bedroom. That's when I said, this is it. I'm done. And I told her, She didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with it because she didn't want to be, exactly, just roommates. She didn't want to be alone. And so we sat down with the kids and I said, Daddy's going to leave, but Daddy's going to be here to pick you up from school. Daddy's going to help you with your homework, and Daddy will be here every other weekend. So when I explained it to my boys and I explained to them that, you know, you'll do the holiday here and you'll do the holidays with me, my same 4-year-old, it's my man. He said, so I'm going to get 2 Christmases? I'm going to get 2 birthdays? Yes, you will. And I have honored that to now where one son is 24 and the other one is 20. And we're like this. And we're like this, even though I have not been there with their moms because I kept my word. But at the same time, I was cordial to their mom, even when she was mostly disrespectful. Beyond disrespectful. But I wouldn't say a negative word to her. Because the pain that she was admitting back at me was only the pain that I created. So I cannot get mad at what I put into motion. The only thing I can do is brave this storm. And if the storm never ends for her, then I have to learn not to take that in. So I would take it to my new young lady, who eventually became my wife because I matured from the mistakes that I made while still being a father to my sons. And so when I work with young men, the first thing I want them to do is attempt, and older men too, excuse me, I want them to try to fix the relationship if they can. But if they can't, you walk away cordially. You honor your responsibilities as a father, because your responsibilities as a father have nothing to do with your responsibilities as a husband. Because that may die, but you are still those children's parents. Don't combine the two and then turn the hurt onto them. No, no, no. No, no, no. You honor your role as a father. You take that hat off as a husband, and it's going to be a sad situation. Even if you think you gained it, you're still going to be sad because you failed somebody. You sat there in front of God and said, this is who I want to be with, and you failed them. So don't celebrate when you're at the club because you're single now. You're still a failure. But you still got to be a father to those children. And you make sure that you keep attempting to fix any negative thought that they may have about marriage, because you owe them that. Don't you dare let them think that this divorce, this whatever, is okay. You let them know that it hurts you to let it even get this way, but I want you to be better than me. You make sure those words come out your mouth. Women too. And we're not going to go through the don't use the kids. That's a whole nother scope because we already know. We're adults talking tonight. And as adults, you honor the blessing that was given to you in those children, and you don't even mention the negativity from the divorce. You just simply keep saying, it didn't work between your father and I, it didn't work between your mother and I, but you're going to meet somebody that you're going to love and you're going to be fantastic. I'm going to meet somebody that's for me, and he's going to meet somebody that's fantastic for him. And I did that. She didn't, because she never let the pain go. But I'm not going to keep paying for crimes I committed when I've already apologized, because if God forgives me, I'm not going to keep apologizing to man nor woman. Hate me, love me, whatever. You can't use emotional blackmail to keep attempting to make someone pay because you're still hurting. You. Because they're good. Has nothing to do with you. Like the movie, like I just showed you in the clip. You want something? Go get it. If that man don't want you, do you know how many men in this world? There's billions. Why are you getting upset over one? Okay, you messed up with 2, 3, whatever. There's still billions. You just had fools running out here paying their rent to try to win Powerball at $1.5 billion. And you going to tell me you can't find a man because one screwed you over? You can't find a woman because she cheated on you. Okay. As my grandmother said while she was still alive, you cry tonight and then get your ass up and start living life. And that's what I did. I did more after leaving her than I did with her. I wrote 3 books. I got my master's degree. I married a woman that was incredible, and it is incredible. I had a daughter after losing a child. I've been teaching 20 years. I've helped save children's lives. I've done things all because God has allowed me to use the talents he's given me, because I didn't waddle in the pain of what was. I did what my grandmother said. I cried that night when I came back home. 30-something years old, back in my mother and grandmother's house. This is not what the plan was supposed to be. Got myself together, and I got up and lived life. And the crazy part is, yes, I went back to do the physical thing. Yeah, we thought maybe there was some way to recoup. We got together, had sex. Sitting on the side of the bed, I said, we can't do this. And she said, what do you mean we can't do this? I said, no, we just got to be parents. This is not going to work. I think I had been gone 3 months or 4 months, whatever it was, because I think I left in May, but I think that was like, I want to say August, September, around that time. And I was like, no. And then she said to me, so I'm not even good enough to be your whore. I said, that's how you want to take it, but this ain't going to work. And I had to hold my ground because a part of you wants to go back, but if you know the situation is not positive, don't do it to yourself. Don't climb back down the hole that you know is filled with crap because you think the crap might have dried up. You know it's in there. Why go back? Push yourself forward. Close your eyes and kick your own behind out the door forward. And scream out to the world, damn it, let's go. Don't ask God to send you Boaz. Just do you. And he'll send you Boaz. You don't have to ask him anything because Ruth didn't ask for Boaz. She just worked the fields to take care of her and Naomi, and Boaz recognized her. Who is that? That's that chick Ruth from Moab. But you know the Moab women are whores. No. That chick is different. She comes out here every night. She's hitting these fields hard for her and Naomi. I got to check this chick out. And when the time was right, Boaz knew exactly what to do. Don't chase Boaz. Don't even ask God for Boaz. Just say, God, send me who you need for me and keep working hard. God, you know what I need. Actually, that's what you pray. God, just take care of my needs. Just take care, show me what I need to do and watch. You don't ever have to ask for a man. Because when you're doing you, real men notice. When you making it happen, when you grinding, I'll give you an example. I talked about this at an event that I was at. When you getting up at 6 in the morning to get yourself to work, and you take the time when you get up at 4 to be out at 6 to get yourself looking fantastic, because you're not going to work looking, and you out at that bus stop looking good, but you don't even want to be out there. Some of the same dudes are doing the same thing, but they're going to notice. And the real dude's going to say, never seen her have a bad hair day, never seen her look bad, but she on top of her game. And eventually he may speak because he's got to just see, where's her head at? Good morning, miss. Don't be mad because you're up at 6. Understand when a man is being genuinely cordial. There's nothing wrong with saying, hello, how are you? Because he'll say, I see you every morning. Listen, girl, got to go to work. Girl, got to make that money. I feel you. I'm doing the same thing. Now, if he's probing you, say, listen, I thank you so much for the compliments, but my head is somewhere else. Walk away. But never stop to have conversation, because you'll be surprised how the smallest conversation. My wife laying in there right now. She might even still be on the scope. I'm not sure. Honey, are you still on the scope? I know you're supposed to be in there sleeping. When I was in college, I was married, again, cheating and doing everything else. Let the tears out. Listen, tears wash the soul. Tears open up your nose, your heart. Let them tears flow. I had to catch myself a few times. Thought I was going to cry a little bit, but I had to stay tough on the scope. Let those tears go. When I was married and cheating, whatever, I met my wife in college. She was 19, I was 28. Talked her into going to the movies with me, we went. Everything was cool, and then all of a sudden she was like, are you married? I was like, yeah. Deaded me right there. Didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Ugh. And I remember telling a friend, I said, yo, she's cute. I said, you know, one day, that's my little diamond in the rough. One day me and her going to be together. Now, I was just talking. And then 5 years later, I ran into her again. I had already separated from my wife. I had moved back home, my mother and grandmother. I seen her, and I stopped to talk to her. First thing out of my mouth was, are you still married? And see, this is why, ladies, when you stand your ground and you be the woman that God made you to be, it cuts through all the foolishness. And I said, yes, I am, but I'm separated. Pending divorce. It's over. I'm back home with my mother and grandmother, and I'm trying to start all over again. I was honest. I told her the truth. So we started talking. And once she saw that my actions were what that said they were, that's when we were able to have real conversations. That's when we were able to move forward. You know what? We've been together ever since. Because she always said to me she could see more in me than I could see. Now, that didn't mean that everything was perfect. No, no, no. No, no, no. It just gave us a starting point. I still was the same dude just living at my mother and grandmother's house because cheating was part of my DNA. I just got better at it as I got older. And most older men that cheat get better at it anyway. You get better at anything that you practice. So 5 years into the relationship, 6 years into the relationship, that's when it all had to come to a head. But if you read my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, you'll understand exactly how bad I really was. I was horrible. But I say all this to say this. You have to be what you say you want. You have to live the life, attempt to live the life that you say you want. And then trust that God will send that individual to you. And then the two of you have to sit down. Don't play. Let's get to it. Let's talk. Tell me about yourself. I'm going to tell you about me. Let's see what we got. Let's see where we're going. Because I don't have time to waste. And if you're not screwed on, your head's not right, what we talking about? Get right to it. Trust me, men like that. Men like that. Men like a firm woman. Men like a woman that go, let's not play these games. What you trying to do? You trying to hit? Or you trying to date? Or you trying to get a real relationship? What you mean am I trying to hit? Come on, Mom, slow down. What he's really saying is, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know how to deal with this. Don't slow down. Say, listen, you're a man, right? You're a grown man. So we talking. Grown woman to grown man. I want to know if you're just trying to bed me down, if you're really trying to date, or you're thinking about marriage. I want to know that. Here's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to turn the tables because he's not used to not being in control. So he's going to say to you, from Gigolo to Jesus, yes. He's going to try to tell you, come on, man, hold on. Why are we going so fast? Come on, we need to talk. Why are you taking it there? All BS. Because what he's really trying to do is get a handle on where you're coming from, so he wants to be in control. Stop. Say, okay, I'll wait. What's your answer? If he asks you a question, say, no. You didn't answer my question. Answer my question, and I'll gladly answer any question that you have. Now he's going to do this if he's leaning forward. He's going to sit back. He's going to rub his chin, or he's going to rub his nose or over his lip, or he's going to tap his forehead, but he's going to do something that's going to give him time to stall. He's going to make a face, yes, slap at the table. He's going to say, because he's deciding on if he should tell you the truth, because he's nervous that if he tells you I'm trying to hit, you're getting up and walking out. He's also nervous that if he tells you trying to date, now he done pushed himself into something that he really wasn't ready for. And he damn sure ain't going to say he ready for marriage. Now, the real man will say, I'm not sure yet. And you're going to say, why aren't you sure? Well, I'm physically attracted to you. That goes without question. You're gorgeous. And sex, I would love to have sex, but I don't know if that's going to work with where I'm at right now. We need to get to know each other first. And if sex is going to be, okay. And if we're going to date, okay. But I need to know what you about. You just threw that at me. I need to know what's going on with you. Are you out here having sex? Well, it depends. I'm a grown woman just like you're a grown man, but we need to talk. So now that y'all have now tilted the scales back, now that he's tilted the scales back to being able to have a real conversation, now you can ease back a little bit and say, listen, just give me an idea what you're about. I like to hear what you're about. Just tell me something about you. Now you can have a conversation. But you got to let a man know that at any point, you can take this from 0 to 100 and you're not going to play games. Because if this is how you are, he's going to need to know that when y'all are moving forward anyway. So let's talk. Men love a strong woman because it helps them to feel comfortable that when they're not around, she got this. I'm not worried about the next dude running up in here and getting her. Be very real. And any men watching this, don't be scared to tell the truth. I'm telling you as a former As a former, let me see something here. As a former, you can put in anything that you want. That sometimes the best thing to say is the truth. I would sit across from a woman and say, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm attracted to you. I want to have sex with you. Oh my God, how could you say it like that? Why lie to you? Hey, let me turn that off. Why lie to you? This is my first book. I want to read you something. And so someone would sit back and say, so you just going to tell me like that you want to have sex with me? Yeah. Because why not? Sorry, guys. Turn that off. And so a woman would go, so you just going to say, like, yes, because I'm attracted to you. I said that. That doesn't mean I'm going to have sex. You asked me, did I want to? Yes. But it's still in your hands. You control that. I can't take it from you. That's rape. Now, if you decide we going there, cool. But if you decide we going there, I hope that you can handle yourself too. Now is when you can actually start to assert yourself. What do you mean handle myself? Sweetheart, listen. If we was to ever go there, I want to know what it's going to be before, and I want to know what it's going to be after, because I just don't want no BS. I want a real woman. Now you can put her to the test. Now you can put her to the test to see if she's about it or she's just repeating what she read in somebody's book. Get to know who she is. And eventually you'll get past all that foolishness and have real conversation. Listen, I read comic books and I do whatever at work. You can tell the truth. I want to read y'all something real quick. And it's from my book, A Man in Transition, which is my poetry book. But it is a piece. This is dedicated to the women that are here on the scope. I'm going to read this to you. And it's from my very first book. It's my poetry, because I think someone asked me earlier, what type of poetry do I write? I write everything. But my focus is God. So everything is going to be centered on not trying to embarrass God. Now, if you don't understand what that means, understand. Let me just read this to you, because when a man changes his life and his focus, thank you so much. When a man changes his focus and he puts God and his woman out in front of him, but at any moment ready to step back in front of her to protect her, trust me, the world just becomes a whole different place. I want to read this to you, dedicated to the ladies. And gentlemen, you can steal this. Just give me credit. Say, yo, my brother KLBELVIN wrote this. It'll help you get out of trouble when you get in late at night. You done messed up. Perfect woman, if only in my mind. I ask myself, why am I so lucky? Is there a reason I'm so blessed? But you're never supposed to question God's work. I say God because how do you explain her patience with me? There's something about the way she understands my needs. Are there other women who would love another's children like her own? Would another woman be strong enough to trust God and take you back when you have tasted the fruits of someone else? Her soul is pure enough to douse the evil that once filled my own. Vanity, pride, and smugness have been replaced with concern, endearment, gratefulness. I now concern myself with more than just my own needs. Her smile fills my heart with joy. Her tears burn at my soul and demand an immediate attention or screams for forgiveness. I am blessed with an equal. So again, I'll ask, why am I so lucky? Does God see something in me I don't see? He must. She is sexy beyond belief, even when she sleeps. Can that comfortable look come from what I have brought to her life? The world is funny. One minute you're all alone, the next all your dreams are being answered. Thank you, God. Well, the only course of action is to leave all my worries, fears, and concerns at the Lord's feet. Something about having the right woman makes each day, night, and morning special. I really do have the perfect woman, if only in my mind. By KLBELVIN. That was my first book back in 2007. When I decided, well, I wrote it in 2007. I published it in 2008. I wanted to let the world see the type of man that I have become because of my wife and because of the Lord. And so I am proof that if, thank you so much, I appreciate that. If you hold your ground and be the woman that God made you to be, thank you so much, appreciate it, guys. Men will gravitate, the real men will gravitate to you. Remember, the nasty guy is always going to be there. The nasty guy will be there at the DMV, the bus stop. You could be picking up your children. The nasty guy will always be there. But do not allow the nasty guy to gauge you to where you become blind to the hard-working dude who doesn't want the crazy chick, so he doesn't say too much. who doesn't want drama because he already failed at one marriage or two, who's just trying to do what he does, but he smiles at you. He says hello. Don't be rude. Just say hello back. See, the real man ain't going to try to hold you up. The real man will ask, do you have a moment? The real man will open up the door and say, thank you, miss. I see you every morning. Just wanted to say hello. But know when a real man is in front of you. Sister Poole, I appreciate you being on tonight. I wasn't going to scope tonight. But when I heard Odis earlier, and then I heard you laying it down on what brothers need to be, brothers, please pay attention to what Regina Poole is saying, because she is giving you the inside of what a woman thinks. I am going to try to be the warm coat. I am going to try to be the coat that wraps you up, because Odis gave you some fire. Regina gave you some fire. I'm going to try to be the coat that puts out that fire to help you out. Or if it's cold, I'm going to try to be that coat to warm you up, because I'm going to try to let you know there's hope. But you got to fight for it. You got to work. And you got to be exactly what you say you want. So to wrap all this up, can you look in the mirror and say, I am that woman that I know that man wants? Can you look in the mirror and say, I am that man that I know that woman needs? And if you're not, that's your starting point. That is your starting point on you. That's the reclamation project right there. That's what you do. Thank you so much for speaking. Oh, yes. Now, before I jump off here, any questions? Ask any questions that you like, because I've been I'm sorry, I didn't get into all the conversation on the side. I'll go back and look at all the analytics. Anything worth having is worth working for. Yes, it is right. How old am I? Ooh, I am 48 years young, but I feel like I'm 70, so I'm working on that. Any questions? Own a home? I just came from Delaware looking at homes. I'm moving to Delaware by the end of the year. And I'm actually was looking at homes and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to be moving. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So it's up in the air. Feel free to ask any questions. Can you pray for us? Okay. Real quick. Because when I get a request to pray, I pray. Let's be in the mindset of prayer. And if you guys who do not go to church don't know what that means take a minute to close your eyes or just lower your head and acknowledge who God is. And let's ask the Lord to come forth on our behalf. Heavenly Father, we stand before you humbly seeking your guidance and your love. And we ask that the things that we ask you for, you decide what we need. Heavenly Father, please wrap your hands around everyone that is on this scope and give them what they need, not so much what they want, but give them what they need to be able to be who you created them to be. Heavenly Father, we ask that you protect us from our own mistakes as well as from the mistakes others may make to us, around us. Please, Father, be that Father that we need, and hopefully we will be the children that honor you in what we do. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen. Any other questions before I call it a night? How do you walk away from a married man of 11 years? You look at the door, walk out. And I'm going to tell you what you do. Why do you want to leave him? And if it's unfixable, then it might be time for you to have a conversation and y'all split everything up. So first, before you think about leaving him, he's a deadbeat. Okay, well then step back and figure out what your next move is going to be. You don't just walk out if you don't have a plan. I would say, honestly, watch the movie Sleeping with an Enemy. She could have just walked out, but she knew he would have beat her up and killed her. So she created a plan, created a situation. I'm broken, I'm tired. Okay, well, the first thing you got to fix is being broke. Somehow on your own, you got to figure out what you're going to do to get enough money to be able to step away from him, to be able to survive. You might need to lean on family. Got to have a plan. You might need to lean on family. You might need to lean on girlfriends. You might have to sleep on somebody's couch, somebody's floor. You might have to sleep on somebody's futon. Okay, you have one arm, but you got to figure out what you can do. You still have one arm. You still have your brain. If you can speak, you still can do something. There's something that you can do to change your life to be able to take care of you. You might have to take these next couple of years. You gave 11. Okay. Is he taking care of you? Because if he's a deadbeat, he's not taking care of you. So there's got to be a church. There's got to be organizations in the area that you're at that you could go to help you develop skills to be able to take care of you. And even, troll, do you have your own income? Okay. Which one's a troll, brother? I missed a troll. I'm sorry. All right, the block party's in effect because they called you a troll. See you later, bro. Block party's in effect. Next. And if he wasn't a troll, we lost one. God forgive me. Would the word of God have you suggest someone to leave their spouse? No. The word of God would not ask you to leave your spouse. The word of God would tell you to work it out. But you also have to understand what is it that you're having difficulty with. If you're being physically mistreated, then it might be time to go. But if not, you two have to work it out in the Lord's name. But if the divorce is necessary, then you and God are you're going to have to sit down and ask the Lord to forgive you. You're going to have to make that move. That is a consistent argument in the church on divorce, because Jesus was very firm on divorce. But as humans, we're going to make mistakes. And the question becomes, were you and him evenly yoked when you got married? And that's something to look at, because if it wasn't a godly marriage, God didn't bless it to begin with. So you really have to sit down and get counseling on that before you would actually leave a marriage. But I would definitely sit down and talk to someone, and you got to have a plan before. But if he cheated, God, yes, he does. You are allowed to leave if the person cheated. It actually talks about that. You get a letter of divorce in the fact that someone out has told him. But I would definitely decide what's going to happen, because remember, we are human. We're fallible. We're going to make mistakes. June 4th, by the way, make sure you mark that. I want to see you all in Detroit. I want to meet everybody. I'll be there speaking. I'll be there signing my books. I'll be there hanging out. It ain't going to be cold, so we good. But yes, you have to, especially if you're a man or woman of faith, you really have to sit down and figure out what your move is going to be. And you have to be okay with God. You and God have to have a conversation, and then you go from there. A lot of people are going to tell you a lot of different things. This is where prayer comes in. And you have to have an accountability brother or sister that you can sit down with, explain what your situation is, explain what's going on. Have you done everything that you're supposed to do? Can you do a scope one day on men who are narcissists? Whoo, Lord. You know what? I will keep that on. I will definitely, you know what? Let me work on that. I go back after every scope, and I will read all the comments that I missed when I was talking, and I check the analytics. And what I'll do is I will put that to the side, because some men are narcissists because they were raised by moms who told them they was the greatest thing that ever lived. And some are narcissists because they keep dealing with weak women that make them feel so great about themselves. And some men are narcissists because they've been abused. So understand that you don't know until you actually get into the men. Not every man is a narcissist for the same reasons, but you have to check, because if he's damaged, he may not even understand that he's narcissistic. So you have to wait and see. But parents, and there you go. Because if you were raised by someone who told you the world was yours but never taught you to respect others, well, then you grow up believing that. And as an educator, as a teacher of the last 20 years, some of the things I see children say and do, I know is not them. I know a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16, 18-year-old did not say those things. I know that parents or something had an influence on this child's behavior. So I have to be careful on how I deal. What's your advice about what to tell the kids? Be honest, first of all. Sit your children down, have a game plan. And before you present to them what you're going to do, have your ducks lined up. Meaning, when you present to the children that the divorce is coming, that y'all are splitting, let them know where you're going to live. So if you don't know where you're going to live, shut your mouth. Let them know where you're going to be living. Let them know what you're going to be doing. Let them know how you are going to be interacting with them. So you say to them, I will, like I told my children, I will be here every day like I have been, picking you up after school. I will bring you home. We'll go over your homework. But then at the end of the night, I'll be going to Grandma Tina's house. I let them know that. Also, do not introduce yourself to another person until you've had a chance to get a working relationship with your children that is working. Don't even worry about dating. Don't even worry about getting nothing. I will definitely consider the narcissist one. That is actually interesting to me. Not something I thought about. I will definitely try to put something together soon. And because I want to do a little research on that first too. But I would definitely sit down with the children, and because you're going to have to reassure them, because you're ripping the rug out from under them, because you and hubby may have an issue, but the children may be loving everything. And if you're doing like most parents, pretty good at hiding it, then now when you say it's over, they're going to think part of it is their fault because it's the only thing that's going to make sense to them. And again, if you're just tuning in, I am KLBELVIN. I am author, poet, speaker, mentor, educator, publisher, husband, father, and man of God. My website is, actually, you know what? Let me just give this real quick. My website is www.braven, If you need to reach me, my email is mainoffice@bravenpublishing.com. That's BRAVIN publishing.com, main office at bravenpublishing.com. When you go to my website, www.bravenpublishing.com, thank you so much, brother. Also, my voicemail number is on there. Feel free to leave me a voicemail message if you need to ask me a question and talk to me. If you need private counseling, I'll set that up too. We can do it via FaceTime, or we can do it on Google Hangout. And hey, listen, write a book. You're supposed to. If you got something in you, get it out. If you believe you got something that people are going to enjoy, write it. Listen, I wrote A Man in Transition because I just wanted to get my poetry out to the world. I wrote From Gigolo to Jesus because I just wanted the world to know my story. Yes, I have put out that I've been with over 300 women, and I think it's closer to 400. I've been a part of 25 abortions and miscarriages. I was a filthy dude. Filthy. But I found the Lord in a motel. Am I Greek? No, I am not. I am Native American and African American. Thank you for asking. But let me just say to you, the block party is in effect. So watch your next statement, because you could actually be on the block dancing by yourself. Anyway, but yeah, I met the Lord in a motel 200-something miles away from my email address. Okay, yes. Main office, MAIN, office, main office at Braven, BRAVIN, publishing.com. No, it's okay. No, I'm just asking. Okay, no. Okay, just checking. I didn't know. I'm just saying. I watch. I'm just, brother Odis, listen. If the statements go sideways, the block party's in effect. But no, I'm not Greek. I was never one for organizations when I was younger. I'm still not. I'm a loner, simply because I see the world differently. I'm a visionary, and so the reason why I couldn't do anything, the idea of hazing, the idea of just someone telling me what to do to join them, never worked for me. It's why I could never join the armed services, even though I love the routines that the armed services have. I love the connection that Greeks have with each other. But I've always been a person to make it on my own or mess up on my own. And it's been good and bad, feast and famine at times, because I do what I think I need to do, and I grow and I learn. So as an educator, I was the one that stared out the window as a kid, but wondered how I could change the world, and here I am doing so, or trying to do so. So, this is what it is. Pump, okay. Yes, I am studying. I started my actually it's after 12. Yes, so I am officially in grad school as of today. Grad studies start today. And I am studying human services with a specialization in counseling and ministry. It'll be my second master's degree, because my first master's degree is in curriculum writing, assessment, and teaching. I have a bachelor's degree in physical education and minor in health education, and I have an associate's degree in business. I own my own business, Braven Publishing. We have published 25, we have worked on 25 titles. 3 of my own. I have published 3 books, and I have written I have contributed to numerous anthologies. And I believe that constant growth is necessary. Never get comfortable with being on the platform. How long did it take for the women you hurt to heal? I don't know. Once I offered the apology, there's nothing I could do. I'm not going to go back and keep trying to fix what I can't fix. If they needed me to fix something, I would offer that. The only thing I could do once I came to my senses was to offer an apology. Once I offer the apology, it's on them and God. Because the person who hurt you can't always go back and fix you. The person that can hurt you can help offer some comfort by saying they're sorry, but you have to fix you. And that's why you should seek God, seek faith, seek healing away from the source that did you damage. Because too often we want closure, and I always find that funny. Closure for what? You know, should you tell your kids any deeds? No, just things aren't working. Why would you put on a child's plate something that most adults can't handle? No, you just simply, we're not going to be together, and they say why? It's just not working. As children, when they get older, then you can have that conversation. Not right now. You don't have that kind. And what ages are we talking about, by the way? I'm sorry, what ages? Thank you so much for the hearts. I don't want you to think I'm not acknowledging those two. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the shares. No, you definitely, no. They're preteen and teenager. No, you just simply trust that their adaptive abilities to heal are better than adults. Just simply say, your father and I, it's just not working. Here is the plan. Now you owe them a plan because they need something to hold on to that's going to be normal. Some type of normalcy is going to be primal. They see that that's, okay, what they see, don't worry. What you create for them, he's got to figure out what he's going to do once y'all are apart. If he's not going to step up and be a man to him, trust me, and years later, they'll figure out that he wasn't any good. I am meeting so many people on Periscope that you're helping me, and thank you so much. What you're going to have to do is just lay the foundation for them to see what your plan is so they can gain comfort in that. They're going to hurt. My son was 8, one was 4. The 8-year-old did not let it go that his mother and I weren't getting together until he was 16. But as I said, at 24 and 20, we're fantastic. Am I with them every day? No, they're grown men now. We call, we talk, we hang out. I even had a beer with the oldest one, and I was shocked that I was sitting there having a beer with him. I'm looking, I'm like, you're 23? Oh my God, you're a grown man. You can actually drink, and I can't tell you not to. But the idea, it's not, you're not hurting them. You're making a decision that's going to cause them some discomfort, but you're not hurting them. You're letting them see what real life is about. Now, how you help them deal is going to say a lot. That's why you have to have a plan, because they need to know that certain aspects is going to be in place. So you sit down and say to them, and when they're having doubts, hug them, love them, reassure them. Have that plan, let them know what's going on with them, and just keep them. And if there's changes that's going to be made financially, so if certain things that they're used to cannot happen, do not try to kill yourself to try to keep things at the level that it used to be. Because now remember, the two of you are going to be separated. You may not have that extra support. So if your level is now here, let your kids know this is where we are. This is what we're going to be dealing from, and we're going to go from there. With the teenager, it could go either way. Teenagers is a difficult age because their bodies and mind are changing rapidly. And I spent, of the 19, 20 years that I've been teaching, the bulk has been in middle school. And it is very difficult for teenagers because they're going through so much themselves that it can be rough. But it's fixable, and it'll definitely work. But love, compassion, and just attention to detail is what they need. Should I foster a relationship with my ex and our children? Well, should I foster a relationship with my ex? Well, the two, that's a loaded question. The question is the ex trying to be what he's supposed to do to the children? If he is, allow him to be. And I don't know if you're a female or male. I apologize if I'm speaking to one side or the other. Your significant other should be allowed to have that relationship. Thank you. I appreciate that. Your significant other should be allowed to have a relationship with the children, because a solid relationship with the parents, whether in or out of a marriage, is still going to help the children mature to whatever they're going to be. Now, what damage, you'll have to see that as they date. You're going to have to see that as they make choices. You're going to have to see that as they respond to you. And then if you need additional help, then get it. But right now, you have to put things in motion. Pray heavily over them. Sneak in when they're sleeping and put your hand on their head and pray out to God to protect them and grant you the clarity on how to take care of them. And then as things come about, deal with it. Okay, then that's his choice. Then what you do is you love the children. You give them the attention that you need to give them. And you know what? They'll figure it out. My father and I, actually, one of the new books that I'm a part of, Soul of a Man Part 2, I'm a contributor to the anthology, 17 Brothers of Color. We came together to write stories. My story is called My Father I Am. And it talks about my father and I connecting, my biological father and I connecting after 39 years. And one of the things that I talk about when I'm out and I'm speaking to young men is I wouldn't have heard him at 19. At 19, we would have fought. At 19, I was just an angry dude who was just comfortable with having no male in my life, that I would not have been able to hear him at 19. But at 39, I needed him tremendously because I needed him more at 39 to help guide me compared to 19. So all you can do is just do what you do, and hopefully they'll be well adjusted and go from there. But only God holds the future. So please do not allow negative to creep in. Please do not allow doubt to creep in. Just be the best parent that you can be to them, for them, with what you have. And do not allow it to be anything else. And if he doesn't want, that's his loss. And he will pay for that later on, because a part of him will never be whole if he's not doing what he's supposed to do for his children. It's different if you were blocking him. But if you're not doing that, then it's on him. And he's going to have to deal with that, because he was entrusted to be a steward of those children also. And he's failing at that. Just because the relationship failed doesn't mean that the two of you can't be good parents. I'm praying for healing for the guilt of a failed marriage. I couldn't stay with my ex. I understand guilt, but you also have to let it go. Once you prayed about it, let it go. Oh, he's abusive. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that any man put his hands on any woman. Try to let it go. Do the best you can, and just ask the Lord to grant you clarity, grant you strength to move forward. Just understand that it's not your fault at all when anyone places their hands on you in any form, any fashion. And simply try to go forward the best that you can. Surround yourself with women and men who understand your worth, your beauty. Just focus on your future. Be that visionary by yourself until God grants you the partner that you need, who understands where you are, and the two of you go and take over the world. But if you got to do it alone right now, okay. Do it until God grants you who you need. And trust me, he will. And you just go forward and just dig in, and that's behind you. You know, the pain, you know, mentally can be difficult. I know. I watched my mom with men that she dated, and it was very difficult, but they both raised me to never put my hands on a woman. And for me, it's not something I ever did, but, you know, I try to help the women out there the best I can. So you'll be okay, I'm sure. And I'll pray about it. Definitely will. Caught it before, sending it to the parent. Okay. I just got a message. I was reading a message. So any other questions before I call it a night? I definitely love the interaction. I love talking to all of you. I wasn't even planning on being on this late after being on the road. I got a lot of work to do in the morning, but definitely love the interaction. Love all the hearts. I appreciate the love. Any other questions? And again, let me just give you my information. Let me just explain to you who I am. My name is KLBELVIN. I am the author of 3 books: poetry, a memoir, my personal memoir, and inspirational fiction. My new book, Lukewarm Saint, is inspirational fiction. I had to, oh my God, you know what? I'll read the message later. Anyway, I'm going to, I'm sorry, the message got me sideways. Anyway, my contact information is main office at bravenpublishing.com. Thank you so much. I try to be. Listen, I have no reason to hide anything. Because also, when you make mistakes, you got to be transparent. And when you do right, you need to be transparent. People don't like people who's full of themselves, and people don't like people who's lying. So to me, I'm transparent because it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Actually, I was just reading a message from someone who's reading my latest book. They found some errors, and they're getting at me about it. Okay, I'll go back. I'll look and see if those errors were actually there that they said. I'll make the changes. Listen, I don't stress. I write. The reason why I publish my own work is because I put out what I want to put out. If a person has a problem with it, I listen to their criticism. If it's valid, I make the changes. I think people take so much too serious, and they miss the right now. They miss the real life right now. And the real life is, what are you doing right here, right now? I am enjoying the interaction. I would have ended the scope a long time ago, but there's questions to answer. I'm enjoying the back and forth. I love it. So I don't worry about people. Oh, you took too long, and nobody wants to be on that long. I may not scope for 3-4 more days, so average it out. So again, any other questions before? And actually, I'm on Facebook, KLBELVIN. I'm on Twitter, KLBELVIN. Thank you. And that means so much to me, because that's actually what I try to do, and everything that I do is help somebody. I am on Google Plus KLBELVIN. As I said, if you need private counseling, you want to sit down, we can set something up. But you have to commit to at least a couple of hours each week, because it's hard for me in 1 hour, because I do it in hour sessions, and we can always work out on some type of price that'll help out. I'm reasonable. I don't sit and try to hold you up. It's more about the help. But you got to at least commit to 2 sessions so I can get an opportunity to talk to you, get to know you, and then I can try to put something together that will help you going forward. Now, if you want to see me, talk to me after that, we can always set something up. But my schedule is crazy because of grad school and teaching. I'm glad you caught you before I had to talk with my kids, because I know they can't hear. Okay, extremely helpful. Clarity is important. And thank you both, ladies. And I appreciate that. But I can definitely tell you, I had that conversation. It's hard, but in the end, if you're consistent after you put it into motion, the kids will benefit from it. And so, you know, but I know they, okay, oh no, they're going to ask questions. Just be honest and understand that some of their questions are going to be adult-like. Doesn't mean you have to answer them now. You simply say, if you don't know, tell the truth. I don't know. And you know what? I'm not sure how I want to answer that. Give me a little bit to think about it, and I'll get back to you. Just like if I have a kid ask a question in class that I know is just not where we need to be right now, I don't want to just blow his question off. And I'll say, okay, I appreciate you asking that. But, you know, I'll get back to you. Let me get a second to work on that, and I'll come back. And I always go back and find the kid, and I'll answer that question for you. Yes, I will have books on hand. Actually, I should have my new book done by June 4th, which is Making Marriage Cool Again, which is a simple handbook, which is 8 or 9 bullet points with the thoughts that my wife and I have on what makes marriage cool. Just some things that we came up with that makes marriage cool again. Little tips that can help you, that we use to help us have a successful marriage. I'm not going to call myself a guru by no stretch of the imagination. I just know what works for us, and if I can share it with you and it works, yeah. And if not, as they say, take the meat, throw away the bone. That's all I can do. Just like I was looking at the responses about some errors that the person found in my new book. Okay, that's why you pay the money to go back and fix it. And no book is going to be perfect, and if I made errors and there's some things are not done right and my editor messed up, I'll go back and I'll fix it. Maybe I'll fire that editor. But either way, yes, my books are available on Amazon. I think I might pull my new book, Lukewarm Saint, because I'm going to make some changes to it. But it'll be what it's supposed to be. Actually, to read, I've been getting great responses from it anyway. So, yes, you just put in KLBELVIN on Amazon. All my books are there. But I would say go to my website, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people don't know this. Amazon holds authors hostage. They demand 55% off the retail, and that is how they're able to offer all the books at a cheaper retail price, but then the author gets screwed. So we get $1 or $2 compared to if you bought it straight from our website. People who too are not quick to focus on mistakes. Listen, it's actually a part of life that some people will always criticize what they don't do or what they'd like to do. But if the criticism is correct, as much as we may not like it, we have to act on it. And if a person says they found errors, fine. Now, if it's only 1 or 2, I'm not going back and change my whole book for 1 or 2 errors. But if too many people have come up with things that I believe is just not professional, then I owe it to the people who are paying for a product that should be as perfect as I can get it. There is no perfection, but I need to have, I'm so excited, looking forward to June 4th. Odis, oh yes, June 4th is going to be fire. Sister Poole and myself is going to bring the heat, because it's going to be a lot of what you got tonight, but it's going to be a room full of folks thinking, Now, I don't want folks leaving trying to end relationships. I don't want folks walking out the door and kicking their significant other to the curb. But because they're older, think, oh, no, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I am definitely going to be attempting to help heal and to offer some clarity. And hopefully my clarity will offer somebody else clarity in their situation. So June 4th, Detroit, Wayne State University. Shout out to Brother Odis Belinger for inviting me to come to Detroit. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Never been to Detroit, so I'm looking forward to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting the people that I scope. I use it. Oh, yes, KLBELVIN on Twitter, too. Listen, my brand is real simple, KLBELVIN. And I am definitely looking forward to meeting all the folks. Brother Belinger, I believe we're going to be scoping that night anyway, so that's going to be cool, too. So folks will get to see. If they can't make it, they'll be on, but you should try to make it. Simply because We get to hang out. We get to network directly. Yes. And actually, I believe that's my Twitter name down there at the @ when you check me out. And so, listen, guys, it has been a wonderful, tremendous evening. I am going to get ready to close this out. Is there any more final questions from anybody before I call it a night? I have had so much fun. This has been like the longest scope that I've ever did in my life. But I don't mind. Actually, I loved it and I enjoyed it. I appreciate the hearts. I appreciate the shares. I appreciate the comments. And the biggest thing is that some of you have said I've helped you tonight. And that is all that I try to do when I come on. So definitely thank you so much. And if you missed any of my previous scopes, you can go to my YouTube page, which is KLBELVIN on YouTube. Just look up KLBELVIN on YouTube. You see a lot of my scopes there. Also, you can go to my blog, which I need to start blogging more. But I put up the videos there too, which is klbelvin.blogspot.com. klbelvin.blogspot.com. You can go to both places and you'll see tons of, actually my YouTube, you'll see tons of my videos that I was doing videos before Periscope was created. I would just do the videos and then post them because I always had something to say, running off with the mouth. I used to do a radio show host too. So I believe some of my old radio shows, my wife and I, Black Love Radio, we used to do a radio show that was centered on fixing relationships. So if you go to klbelvin.blogspot.com and you go back to 2011, 2012, and I believe 2013, those 3 years we did radio shows in 2 different places. And so you'll get to hear a lot of the things that my wife and I did because we had a radio show that was centered on trying to restore and build relationships. Black Love Radio, that was us. And so we're actually thinking about restarting our radio show and maybe working in Periscope. We're not sure yet. We're going to see how we can do it. Time is really the issue. We have a 21-month-old who is super active, and so it is very difficult. But again, any other questions before I call it a night? You beautiful people have been wonderful tonight. Any other questions? Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate it. And, you know, I'm working on E right now. I haven't had any. I got to eat something. But yeah, shout out to Regina Poole because I was not coming on. But after listening to her scope, I said I got to come on and let the world know again who I am. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, definitely. Check the replay out. Let me know what you think. Make sure if you check the replay out, oh, there go the hearts. I appreciate them. But thank you so much, guys. It is time to jump off here. But you can reach me. Like I said, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Google+. Just in your Google search, just put in KLBELVIN. You will see all the things that my wife and I do. You can put in KL and Tiffany Belvin, and you'll see what we do. If you have Ebony magazine from 2012, it is the one with the Red Tails movie. When Red Tails was about to launch, they had a Black Love issue. My wife and I are featured in there. So you actually get to see us in that magazine. It was the Black Tails issue. Hold on one second. I'll show you. But yeah, so some of the kids always ask me, they go, Mr. B, why do you bother with us kids? I'm like, I love you kids. Why? Because like, well, you got money. I'm like, I ain't got money. Man, you don't get that much money from being in Ebony. You get to be known. That's cool. But other than that, no. Let me see. No, wrong thing here. Let me see. Nope. There we go. Pictures. But yeah, so we were in Ebony magazine. Let me see. 2000. Show you the cover in case you missed it. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Nope, that's not it. Of course, when I need to find them, I can't find them. Let's see. Oh, where can I find them? This is crazy. That is crazy. Normally I have everything that I need. Let's see. That's my lovely wife there. Let me show you my lovely wife. I always talk about her all the time. Let me show you my lovely wife. This is my wife and I. We were speaking at, I forget where I was speaking at then. Yeah, that's us right there. That's me. And that's my little one when she was a little tiny thing right there. We were speaking at a church there. That's my lovely wife there. She is a full-figured pageant queen. So she's a national queen. Actually, she's won national titles. I am one of her biggest cheerleaders. So actually, let me around. I'm gonna find that for you before I jump off, because now I'm like, the ADD is kicking in. I feel bad that I can't find what I'm looking for. I hate that. Drives me crazy when I can't find the things I'm looking for. Oh, here it is. Let me see. There is one of them anyway. That's the page. But yeah, guys, so if you got the 2012 Ebony magazine, just check out Ebony and you'll say, oh, wait a minute. I know who those guys are. That's the guy from the Scope. But let me see. Scan. Oh, there, my scans. There we go. That's it. Now I found it. Here we go. I'm getting better. New computer. Okay. So if you have, so this was that was one of the books that we published. Okay, so I'm trying to enlarge that. Oh my God, I know you're not gonna be able to see that. That's crazy. So I'm trying to work this new computer. Yeah, that's my lovely wife. We went to the store and we was wilding out. So that's us in the Ebony magazine that you can see there. Love Doesn't Hurt. That's me and my wife in Ebony 2012, and that's my lovely wife too. Yes, ooh, she's gorgeous. I might have to go wake up now, baby's sleeping. That's somebody else. We had asked folks to send in pictures of us when they saw the magazine to let us know what they thought. So there we go. Oh, here we go. This is here's the cover. This is the cover of the magazine. So if you have this Ebony magazine, or you have seen it, the Black Love issue, we are in there. So that is us there. We had our friends actually send us pictures. So when they came across us, we posted them. And that is different folks letting us know that they seen us in Ebony magazine. It was pretty cool. Hey, that's me. That's me. Right there. So yeah, it's something I've been doing for a little while. It has been yes, we are in that issue. Yes. Yes, we were in that issue, and we were contacted because, and this is again why it's very important that you share your testimony with the world. Someone contacted Ebony, not us, and someone didn't tell us when they reached out to us that they were from Ebony magazine. They said, would you be willing to write something about relationships? And my wife and I was like, sure. And so my wife wrote it, went over it, we sat down together, and so we said, okay. And then after we submitted it, she said, well, I'm going to see if the magazine accepts it. She still didn't tell us what magazine. We was wondering why she was being so vague. And then after she called us back and said, listen, we want to tell you that your work was accepted and that you will be featured in, I think that was September. She said your work is going to be featured in the February edition of Ebony magazine. And the reason why that was so special to us is because that was the collector's edition, because Red Tails the magazine had finally gotten printed. I mean, it was finally produced, and here we happen to be in that. So this is just one thing that you do. Love does that. So again, guys, yes, Black Love. And that was the name of our radio show, Black Love Radio. So you can go to my blog, KLBELVIN.blogspot.com, BLOGSPOT, blogspot.com. The calendar on the side you'll see the dates. You'll see 2015, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. I would say start from about 2013. Did we do any shows last year? We might have in 2014, but you can go from 2014 and just go backwards. I used to post the shows once we were done. And you can listen to our shows, and you can listen to how crazy my wife and I were. Thank you. Yo, keep praying for everybody. And so you'll see what my wife and I used to do, but I appreciate it. So, again, guys, thank you so much. We have been on all night. I appreciate it. I am so glad that I was able to help some of you tonight. I am so glad I got to pray. I can't remember the last time I prayed on the Scope. I definitely appreciate being asked to pray. And, guys, I wish everyone a wonderful evening. And I do pray that everything that you need, and I say need because sometimes want can cloud our thinking. God will give us what we need. And we have to learn to love when we're given the things that we need and trust that our wants can be motivation. But first, make sure that the things that we need are in place. Take care. Oh, real quick, before I sign off, I want to say this, and I'll say it all the time. And it's about money. Please do not chase money. When you chase the money, you miss the people. And that is one of the reasons why I don't stress and I don't sit here and promote my books to no end to get you to buy and to get you to do anything. I don't chase money. My needs are well taken care of, and the Lord will take care of everything that I need. And I try to help more than I try to sell. So please do not chase the money, because you will miss the people. If you're a professional, you will get paid for what you do as long as you remain professional. But do not make it so much about money that you miss some of the people who are standing right in front of you that need help. And so often people need them. Yes, I am hungry. I need to. I still got some work to do too. And I don't go to bed right away. I'm off tomorrow, so I got some work to do. First day of grad school, and I do it online. And as well as I got some progress reports that have to be done.